everyone, welcome on Watches TV, and today we are at the Lange booth here at Watches and Wonder to talk about a seriously upgraded version of the Odysseus. Tell us all about it.
It's a new Odysseus chronograph I have to present, and it's the very first automatic chronograph at Lange und Söhne. You all know that we have so many chronographs did or realized since 1999, different versions, a more modern caliber with flyback, exactly jumping minute counter, and then the classical ones, more or less in double, triple complications, etc., like watches with fusée chain, tourbillon, etc., and the chronograph rattrapante. But now we had to start really from scratch. 6 years development time we spent on this new model, and it's really a gorgeous piece.
So it was really an idea from the start to have a chronograph version of the Odysseus.
Exactly, because you all know for sure that we presented the first Odysseus and we entered this segment of sporty elegance in 2019. And if we tell you today that 6 years development time, you will know that we already started before, and maybe someone will remember that we've spoken from the beginning about a family. Just presenting one model and all the family, yes, because in our mind it was already the second caliber on the way.
I see. So tell us a bit more about on the technical side about this timepiece then.
It was for sure a challenge for us because Odysseus means sporty elegance, means 4 hertz. We never realized a chronograph before with 4 hertz. And then...
What was the highest frequency that you used?
It's the 4 hertz, but before it was 2.5 hertz and some exceptions with 3 hertz.
Okay.
But in Odysseus family, as the standard, the regular model is 4 hertz already, it has to be the same. And next challenge was we have a special design, special optic of the Odysseus with the weekday indication, the date indication. And so we said there's no way to destroy this optic with an additional small subdial or something like that. That's why even the minute counter hand comes from the center of the watch. And it gives you a completely other chronograph.
Yes.
And due to the fact that it's the first automatic and you have to realize chrono and automatic together, we had for the first time to develop a vertical clutch. So many new things for us, but based on the broad experiences of our watchmaker and engineers, we managed this.
But it's developed on the base of the initial Odysseus movement, or is it really something completely different?
It's completely different.
Okay.
I think to show date and weekday, there are some parts we could reuse, but from the basic movement and the chrono, it's so linked together, we had really to do a new movement.
Okay, so really a serious development for you.
It's a serious development, 516 movement components. And yeah, we are very proud now to have this beautiful watch because it has even other very interesting functions, because the regular Odysseus, has 2 push pieces to adjust the weekday and to adjust the date. Same thing here, you see just 2 push pieces. What's happened? But there is a chronograph on top. So we managed to change the function of these 2 push pieces by changing the position of the crown.
Okay.
So there are 3 crown positions. If you unscrew the crown, because it's screwed because of the 120 meters of water resistance, if you unscrew, it's the winding. It's clear. But if you go to the next position, you can adjust weekday and date without problems. Even if you started the chrono before, it continues to run, no problem. Only if you go to the last position, to the 3rd position of the crown, to time set the watch, as the watch has a second stop, so it's clear the chrono stops.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's a very interesting thing, this new change of the function of the push pieces.
Indeed, really interesting. And in terms of height of the movement, did it expand a bit more?
Yes, it did expand already the movement, but then on top of that, if you have both chronograph hands coming from the center, even the hands need a certain thickness, so the watch is 3.1 millimeter thicker than the original one. It's even larger. It's 42.5 millimeters in diameter, but I think it fits very well on the wrist, even if it's 14.2 millimeters thickness now.
And do you have the different variation of the watch in terms of dials?
No.
For the time being,
No, for the time being is 100 pieces limited edition, because we will be able to make free 2 watchmakers to be
Dedicated.
trained on this caliber, dedicated. And as it is always for us, we try to deliver limitations within 2.5, 3 years, because longer it's not fair to the client. And so I'm convinced that we will achieve this 100 pieces within 3 years.
All right.
So it's really hard to do.
And in terms of metal used for the case?
Yeah, it's the steel version again. So if you look to the surface structure of the dial, you will see this azurage. And it's a typical sign that it's a steel case, like the very first Odysseus we presented.
Right.
Even if now the dial is black instead of blue.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time and congrats on this piece.
It was a pleasure.